Welcome to Oilers Nation Every Day with your hosts, Tyler and Liam.
Yes. Oh, that's an interesting part of the story. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, Oilers win Game 5. Oh, what's this page say? Oh, let's get into it with the lead. Thank you, Waz.
Well done, Matthew.
They leaked the script, Liam. It was always Oil in 7. Where's that Lazarus punk?
They're taking the long way around, to say the least. For fuck's sakes.
You didn't turn on your lights. It's all good. Welcome into Oilers Nation Every Day. We're live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out online at sportscloset.ca or one of their 3 locations in the Edmonton area. St. Albert Center, Sherwood Park Mall, Kingsway Mall. The show, as always, a presentation of Bet365. You know, when your team goes up 3, you get paid. Oh, look at that. Find out more about the 3-goal early payout by visiting our friends at Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Please play responsibly. Last night, a good one for the Oilers, Liam, as they stay alive with a win over the Anaheim Ducks.
A great start, and they figured it out from there. The last 40 minutes, I will say a bit underwhelming in comparison to the first 20. But
First 10.
Yeah, first 10. But they figured it out, and I think the defensive play that they had in the final 40 was a bit more interesting than I think people are letting on. I will say that.
That is fair. We're going to break it all down today on the show, a victory edition of the program that, as always, is brought to you by our friends at Derek Dodge. It's the beginning of a new chapter for our friends at Derek Dodge. They are under new ownership and putting the focus on you, the customer. And right now they have an unbeatable deal. You leave the lot with a new whip, and a trip for 2 to Vegas is on them. That's right. Flights and accommodations to Las Vegas for a 2-night stay is on Derek Dodge when you go and purchase a new vehicle with them. Find out more. Check out their inventory at derekdodge.com. Landon Ferraro at 1 o'clock. Dave Pagnotta at 12:30. We got a couple of great guests joining us today on the program as the Edmonton Oilers stay alive with a 4-1 win over the Anaheim Ducks in Game 5. Aaron nailed it by saying the under would hit. I almost nailed it with the script saying it was going to be a 5-1 win.
Boys knew last night.
Yeah.
The boys just knew.
What was I think I said overtime last night. Or did I say that for the next game?
On ONR?
Yeah.
My ONR prediction was 5-1. Yours was 4-2 last night.
Oh!
And then
So close.
Then a 4-3 OT win.
That would have been huge. That would have been my 3rd correct guess of the season.
Yes. Well,
Come on. What do the kids do? Ice in the
To your
veins?
head.
Almost got it.
3 to your head, playa.
3D. What is it? These 3 fingers?
Yeah, bottom 3.
What's that one?
Shout
I
out
said?
Mello.
Something like that.
Where do we want to start, man?
Well, may as well start at the start.
Well, Cole Blight's in. I will say this.
Your buddy's in too. Lyle.
Oh, yeah, fucking rights. He was going to be, I was going to save him. I was actually going to make Lyle my bright moment of the game, but that's okay. I'll find something else. Lyle and his buddies were sitting right in front of me at the game last night.
The one leaning forward?
Nope.
Oh.
And those 2 were great. I can tell that they don't watch the show, but they're great, and they were cheering hard. And when the people in front of me were leaning forward, and I tapped them and said, hey, you're leaning forward too much, they said, oh, my God, we're so sorry. And then they leaned back. Anyways, Lyle and his buddies were the row right in front of me. Great chatting with them. They bought me a beer in the first intermission. It was very tasty and cold. It was a big draft beer, too. And, yeah, Lyle was a beauty.
Oh boy, Lyle.
His other buddy's name was Tyler. Which I was like, what, Kyler? He was like, no, Tyler. I'm like, oh, same name.
No Ryle? I had a friend called Ryle. Ryle Callahan is his name.
Ryle?
Ryle.
How do you spell that?
R-Y-L-E.
Yes, that
Ryle.
makes
Great guy.
sense. Cole is in and says, we need Amber on the OEG payroll and at all games. Amber's now on a 4 or 5 game playoff winning streak.
Damn. That's really good.
Pretty good.
Well,
pretty good.
I played my role yesterday. Oh, yes. Thank you, Reese. Come on in. The printer ran out of paper.
So I took all that paper to do the lead.
That'll do it.
Classic.
You didn't get the real prop. Don't show him. Don't show him.
Is that Osama bin Laden?
I'll have to wait and find out.
You guys are not going to want to miss today's today's Liam's board. I'll tell you that much.
Saddam Hussein rookie card. A Saddam Hussein rookie card.
Holy fuck. Oh my god. I don't even know.
So, Podkolzin.
There's probably like oh my god.
Oh, man.
The Oilers get the offense going just 2 minutes and 22 seconds in when Vasily Podkolzin, what's the skills coach's name?
Ned Flanders.
Ned
Lukasevich.
Ned
Put some respect
Lukasevich.
on his name.
Fucking right,
Ned
Sneddy.
Flanders.
Pods fires the people up. The Oilers find the back of the net early. It is 1-0 Edmonton Oilers. And I sat there, and you know what I said to my lovely wife at the game?
Goal.
I said, there's no fucking way they blow another lead, right? Like, score first, blow the lead one time. Shame on you.
Blow it 4 more times.
Blow it 4 more times. And I'll be honest, like, it was an awesome start. I think they had like 9 of the first 10 shots on goal in that hockey game or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
They came out of the gates absolutely flying.
Yeah, they did. They the crowd. So, for what I was saying before Reese came in, after
that's what really threw us off.
Well, after game, for game 1, I biked to my parents' house, and I didn't get there for the start of the game because we obviously had the mega stream, so it was a bit of a tight turnaround. And I listened to it on the radio in my headphones. And yesterday I did the same to try and get the same mojo. I thought Bob and the gang over there did a great job of like allowing the fans to like kind of make the moment a little bit, and it seemed crazy in there to start the game. And I think the Oilers did a really good job of like feeding off that energy right from the get go and just like pedal to the floor on the Ducks, and obviously didn't look back at all. But I think Podkolzin was almost like the perfect player to score first for the Oilers. Mm-hmm. Like if there's one guy who like fully deserves the goal, it's him. But like, I feel like he's like the guy for like the players as well, who is like, shit, like Pod's ripped it home. Like he's been with us all 5 games. He's been the Oilers, arguably their best player, to be honest. Like he's been unbelievable. His effort is crazy, scoring great goals, just like playing like he wants it. And I think that moment was really good for him, and just the emotion on his face when he scored 2 felt honestly like infectious. It got me fired up.
I kind of had a moment last game. He scored, and then he hits the post 20 seconds after. Then he almost scored again like 4 or 5 minutes after that. Like he could have had a hat trick in the first period in that game. And I kind of got to like daydreaming about like what's his ceiling, man. And I know, listen, we're not gonna like go crazy. He has 2 goals in 5 playoff games or whatever. But like he took such a big step forward. Like last year, he was a good story, right? A guy who established himself as an 82-game NHLer who could, you know, maybe play a little bit with skill, but he was a good energy piece in the bottom 6. He only scored 8 goals his first year with the Oilers. Like, it is kind of funny that we fell in love with him the way we did.
He finished Game 6 against Florida on the 4th line.
Yeah,
he was playing playoff games on the 4th line, and he scored.
But this year, he jumps up to 19 goals. Next year, I think it's safe to say he's a lock in your top 6.
Yes.
What's his ceiling? Like, I want to go, like, total blue sky. What is the best-case scenario next year for Vasily Podkolzin? Is he a guy who can get you 30 goals? Like, that shot is so good.
Well, you said the Savoy stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't get that high because of the power play, and I think that stands for, like, a few players, and Podkolzin being one of them.
Yeah.
But I think he has the ability to do it, and I think, like, it's a very easy comparison, but, like, can he be Valery Nichushkin? Someone who, like, finds a new home, and then all of a sudden he's just consistently scoring, like, 15 goals. Like,
Nichushkin on the ice, of course.
On the ice, yes, definitely. Jeez Louise. He's had a couple of really good seasons. I mean, he's had many good seasons, but there's one that stand out. 25 goals, 28 goals. He only played 62 games that one year and 54 the other one. He had 28. And that's when he got 50 points. The other ones have been like the lowest has been 34 games. He doesn't play 82 games, to be honest, for Nichushkin, but he was huge for them in the playoffs that year. They won the Stanley Cup, 9 goals, but he had a terrible start to his career. He went over to Russia for a few years. There it is, actually. 57 games this last season with Dallas. He didn't have a goal. I don't think Podkolzin has ever sunk that low in his career. Like, obviously, he was a healthy scratch not in Philadelphia, in Vancouver.
Yeah, he went to Russia. Nichushkin went to Russia for 2 years.
2 years. But that's a Rick Tocchet issue, not necessarily a Vasily Podkolzin issue. Now Michkov's getting scratched.
Now like we're going down some weird rabbit holes.
Let's go.
Today,
We've already brought up a couple of people we didn't think, so may as well keep going.
I thought about that earlier. I was like, fuck, would Matvei Michkov look kind of good on Leon Draisaitl's wing?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I thought you meant of the fact that it's Rick Tocchet won't play his Russian players.
No, I'm thinking like you get to this summer and you dial him up and say, what's it cost, Philadelphia?
See, sure, let's go down this for a little bit. Grab as many like 20 like these young guys who have like no impact in the league. Keep bringing them in.
That's what Jack Hand said.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did say that. But it's just like you look at Doc now, and it's a different situation. I don't think Doc has the offensive upside of what Podkolzin would have or like a Michkov would have in this situation. But like, he has an impact. He's found a role. Savoy different because I don't think he was a castaway from Buffalo by any means. It was like under circumstance of like, okay, we have Benson, Osland, Krebs, a bunch of other guys. They're just getting too full. They kind of needed to move someone. But I was like, you brought him in, he figured it out. And like someone says there, like Michkov for Howard. Fuck that. Keep Howard too. Like find a way to bring him all in, and then just keep it rolling. And then Michkov, I think, I don't know a lot about him. Obviously, there's a conversation of like his dedication and stuff like that. But I feel like that was also a bit of a question with Podkolzin. Maybe not to the extreme, but like, there was a reason he wasn't playing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I'd have to go back and read a few things. But yeah, either way, I think Podkolzin at his best can be a consistent 15 to 20 goal scorer. But as his best, I shouldn't have said best last time. I think Nichushkin is the ceiling.
Nichushkin in those years, by the way, was scoring 28 goals in 60. But in that year, 16 of those goals came on the power play, right? So
yeah, that's why I think like 15. I guess that would be the floor. Could be 15 to 18 goals.
Yeah, I think like honestly next year I could see him popping 25. I think that's like actually a pretty realistic, like not really much of a reach, but anyways, he's been unbelievable.
And like the thing is with Podkolzin, so he has played 1, 2, 3 full NHL seasons. I won't count the other ones where he was like up and down from the minors. In those 3 seasons, first one he had 14 as a rookie. Then he had 8 his first year with the Oilers. Now he had 19. Mm-hmm. Like, it's clearly a lot there with this guy.
Well, and he does the first guy on the ice, last guy off thing. Like, he works so hard. It's like, I don't think this is a guy who, I mean, clearly we saw it this year. His extension is signed.
Oh, thank goodness.
He said, well, yeah, thank God.
Even, like, anyway, we'll continue with him. And then I was going to say, the Jake Walman deal doesn't look as bad now, too, because I thought he had a really good game yesterday.
He's had a great series. He's maybe been their most consistent defenseman in the series. But yeah, I just think, again, Podkolzin, just the fact he keeps putting in the work, I think the ceiling for this guy is maybe something that right now we don't even view as attainable, but I think halfway through next year we could view this player totally different. But he was huge. He gets the Oilers started on the right foot last game, Liam, and then they make it 2-0 just 6 minutes and 11 seconds later. Zachary Martin Hyman in front of the net.
Can I read something really quickly too before we move up Podkolzin? Sure. Remember TJ Lloyd? Played for the Spruce Grove Saints, was captain for them.
Okay.
Really mobile, good defenseman. So, and Michael Menzies would know this too because he interviewed him. Vasily Podkolzin played in the World Junior A Challenge in Bonnyville. Okay. And TJ Lloyd played in that game and he was the captain for Canada. And he tweeted out the other day, it made me laugh. It's like, I won't read it all, some of it's a bit weird, but he said, took a ceremonial puck drop against Vasily Podkolzin at the World Junior A Championships in 2018. Russian sent their full U18 team, and before the picture was even taken, Podkolzin snapped the puck back and just moved on with it. But happy he's an Oiler. I thought it just made me laugh a little bit. Guy didn't even know a picture was being taken. He's like, I am winning this face-off, and it just shows he's in it to win it, baby. There's no holding back with Vasily.
Hell yeah.
I love him. 20 Vasily's would have a cup.
I mean, I tweeted it yesterday, but I was like, because right after, which goal would it have been? Would it?
Yeah. Can never get the puck up the ice.
Yeah, well, the 2-0 goal, the Hyman goal. I'm just watching it back again right now. Podkolzin dumps it in. Dostal goes to play it.
Terrible
Hyman,
last night, Dostal's playing.
Yeah, Dostal's turnover there was insane. I thought for sure Podkolzin got an assist on this. I thought he touched it.
Oh, they didn't give him one.
No, they didn't. They said he didn't touch it. Anyways, Hyman scores. They're fired up. But I tweeted, I was like, Podkolzin and McDavid have Freaky Friday, right? Like they bonked heads in the locker room or something and have totally like transferred into one another. But with that being said, McDavid was great. We'll keep talking about that later. McDavid picks up an assist on the Leon Draisaitl goal. That makes it 3-0 for the Oilers, and it really kind of felt like the route was going to be on at this point. I think at that 10-minute mark of the first period, were they not out shooting them like, again, 9-1 or something like that? Draisaitl scored on their 9th shot of the game. So
yeah,
9-1 or 9-0.
9, whatever it was. I just know they kept him single digits in the first.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I thought you were going to continue from something.
I just wanted your thoughts on...
Yeah, I thought they didn't even really... They just capitalized on what Anaheim has kept doing the entire series of just like any turnover the Oilers were able to get a chance out of and get a couple of goals. Like Dostal, like as much as obviously it was a sacrificial pull of like, hey, like it's not going well for you. You're obviously going to go back and play game 6. Like there was no denying that, but he was terrible.
Yeah,
His puck playing ability was pointless, to be honest. Like just stay in your net. And I know like Skinner used to do that, didn't he? It's like sometimes he wouldn't even really come out and try and make plays on the puck because he just wasn't good at it. And I think sometimes you need to play within your means. And for Dostal's case, like his means would be just keep the puck there for your defender to come and get it. And you go stand in that blue paint and we'll figure out the rest. Because you're clearly not a puck-moving goaltender. So I thought the Oilers did a really good job of just like keeping the pressure on and on and on. And like the power play came. They got a power play goal in the first period, right? Or was that the second period? But that power play they had in the first was really effective. I felt like it was good until Hyman took his penalty, obviously. But I thought he went well for them last night. Obviously, that first period was the best of the 3.
I don't want to like... I know Lukas Dostal is a very high-ceiling goalie. I do think it's a little annoying how the Oilers have been painted as like this goaltending dumpster fire or whatever.
He has been brutal.
He's been fucking awful, and he was bad, below average, all regular season. Who do you think had a better save percentage in the regular season, Lukas Dostal or Connor Ingram?
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jerry. Ingram.
Yeah, 888 for Dostal in the regular season, 899 for Connor Ingram. 32 games, 56 on the other side. So again, Dostal had to carry the workload, and he's 25 years old, and I think he's going to be a very, very good goalie in the NHL. But in this current moment, the goaltending conversation is... I think the national coverage of this series is out to lunch when it comes to the goaltending conversation.
It's been the same all season. And again, like I said on the shows, I don't really trust either of these goalies. Like, do a lot, and it does come down to the players in front of them. I think Ingram played fine yesterday. He had some good saves, of course, but the team played really well in front of him.
Totally.
Where like the difference can be in this series, like the others have that ability to only allow 1 goal in a game. They didn't allow any goals at 5-5. Their horrendous penalty kill continued though, but like, Anaheim doesn't have that ability to stop goals coming over and over and over again because they're just not as good as the others in that department. They don't have the experience of like trying to grind out a playoff game, which I think Menzies has a great point. He's mentioned it on After Dark a few times. Like this series is very winnable for the Oilers. They just have to play like the Edmonton Oilers are capable of doing, which we don't know if that's coming game to game. So I think Dostal, the only 2 games he hasn't allowed 4 was last night when he got pulled after allowing 3 in the first, and the other day when, to give him credit, he made a great save on McDavid in the third period. Might have had 2 saves, if I'm not mistaken. But that's kind of it. Like, what is the what's that one that we all pull? Expected goals against or goal saves above expected? I would imagine it's like him, probably Ingram, him, Jari would be my guess in the league.
As the worst 3?
Yeah, like well, Jari's probably a bit higher, a bit tongue-in-cheek there, but like, you know my point. Happy birthday, Tristan, by the way.
Yeah, happy birthday, Tristan Jari. The worst 3 goals saved above expected per 60 in these playoffs? Number 1, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen.
Interesting.
Number 2, Lukas Dostal.
Yeah.
He's been the second worst goalie in the first round of these playoffs. Number 3 is Stuart Skinner.
Well, Ingram probably boosted a little bit yesterday, I would think, because he was like he was 1 something.
Number 4 is Tristan Jari.
Nice, congrats.
And number 5 is Carter Hart.
What's Jari?
Jari's 4.
Sorry, what's his number?
Oh, minus 4.8.
Feels so.
Sorry, minus 0.48. So half a goal.
See, that one's kind of BS to me because I bet that this is where sometimes expected goals can be a bit of a pain in the ass because that Ryan Poulin overtime winner would be a shot from the corner technically. And it's like, well, it hit the defender right in front.
That probably had like a negative point.
Yeah,
whatever.
something silly. So, I don't know. I actually think Jarry played really well in that game. Arguably, honestly, I would stand by this. I think Jarry has given the best goaltending performance in this series.
Ingram had to be sneaky sharp yesterday.
But last night, what day did they play? Sunday. The Oilers allowed so many great opportunities that like Ingram didn't have to make some of the saves Jarry had to make. I think Ingram played really well. He's definitely has a second locked in. But I would think on that side of things.
I could argue Dostal has been the worst goalie out of all 4 goalies we've seen.
I would agree, and I think literally everybody would.
Yeah.
Like, he's been terrible. Like, I just can't believe you're right. Like, the coverage of the series, and, like, don't get me wrong, like, the Oilers made a goalie change in this series.
Yeah. But now Anaheim has too.
Yeah. And people are saying, like, Husso played well. It's like, well, the Oilers had how many shots on him? Let me pull it up here quickly.
And I know someone said it's like 29 saves isn't sneaky good. I just think the conversation that's dominating the headlines is like McDavid and Draisaitl are back. The Oilers got their swagger. The conversation yesterday isn't goaltending stole one for the Oilers. And that's where I say it's sneaky. It's not the headline. They didn't win this game 2-1 on the back of 29 grade A saves. And again, like I think he was sneaky good, but let's also look at where a lot of those shots were coming from. They weren't exactly. It wasn't a ton of danger. Like the expected goals for Anaheim was 1.42 at 5-on-5.
I'll pull it up here quickly. So what do we want? Shots on goal, I guess.
Yeah, like
oh my goodness, this is
13 scoring chances.
Okay, so here's what we'll do. I'll send this to you, Aaron, and this was yesterday's game, and then I'll find one that was Ingram's last start. That would have been Friday.
Yeah,
I'll pull up that one and see how that looks in comparison.
What else did I want to talk about from this one? Ingram was good, didn't allow a ton of chances. I mean, who was the Oilers' best player last night? Because there is legitimately probably 4 or 5 guys you could throw into the conversation.
Evan Bouchard.
I think it might be Evan Bouchard. Somehow he wasn't one of the 3 stars, which is insane, but that stuff really doesn't matter all that much. But 3 assists for Evan Bouchard, and his play on that 4-1 goal, which I will say was, I know it's the 4th goal in a 4-1 win. I am dubbing that goal my game-winning goal. If they don't score that one, I'm very nervous heading into the 3rd period. That was the nail in the coffin. Oh, look, the Oilers' power play is back. And this play at the blue line is the most disgusting play we've seen in these whole playoffs.
Yeah. Walman was good too, someone pointed out. But Bouchard stole a show. Like 3 assists, and when you look at him as well, it's like all unbelievable plays.
So you.
That guy? Mm-hmm. He's been on the broadcast a lot recently.
Yeah, look at that.
You think that's me?
Yeah, it gives off Liam vibe. Yeah.
Way to go. And also, too, like, defensively, he just seemed, like, very calm. Like, he didn't seem really phased by a lot. Just making, like, really easy plays. And
faking that drop is sick.
Yeah, one of the other players, did you say the 3? I think one of the other ones for me would be Walman.
Yeah.
I think Walman played awesome yesterday. I thought he had a beef with Kotogoche going on. If someone can let me know what they saw, I don't know really what happened, but he was really trying to do something with Kotogoche at every opportunity. I thought, again, like similar to Bouchard, just poke off the stick, like blocking some good shots. I thought he played great. I do have an honorable mention of someone who I thought had a pretty solid game.
I want to say with Jake Walman, he was moving his feet last night. He was skating, and that's one of his greatest assets, and you could tell he was feeling it.
Who would be your second if we're doing a best of 3? I guess.
If we're doing like our own 3 stars,
sure, those would be my 1 and 2 right now.
I go Boosh, Draisaitl, Walman.
Draisaitl did have 2 goals.
No, I go Boosh, Draisaitl. I go Podkolzin just because that first goal is so important.
I would probably go Pods as well if I had to give the 4th star of the game.
Walman on the ice, by the way, did get outshot 7-3.
But he didn't feel like it mattered.
You're right.
You know what I mean? Like, I just felt like he was doing the right stuff.
Yeah, and actually out of those shots, there was only like 0.2 something expected goals. Like, sure.
I thought Jack Roslovic played way better yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he had a couple good chances.
Someone said he has to bury on one of those, and I kind of agree. Like, when you've been as stagnant as you've been, we talked about how his superpower is he can change the game with 1 shot. First off, it was a clear 2-on-1 that he decided to take and turn into a breakaway, which...
Which I liked that.
So you liked that?
Because I think it caught the defender off guard big time, and he did not expect it. Like, I think maybe
his move wasn't
once
good,
you make them, we got around him.
No, I meant his move in tight.
No, right, yeah. I think at that point, that's what I was going to say, is like, maybe that's when you dish it back out front. But like, I thought it showed a level of confidence, which is good. Also, too, he only says he had one block shot. They showed a couple on the highlights on Sportsnet. I thought he played okay. I thought he played better and had an impact on the game.
He attempted to throw a big hit at one point in the game, and I went, holy shit, that was Jack Roslovic.
I thought Ekholm played his best game of the series, too.
Really?
I thought he was really good. Like, again, just not really giving Anaheim like a lot of good chances, poking a lot of pucks off. Penalty kill again. Terrible. Not just him, just in general. It triggered me a little bit. But, yeah, they played well. But they have a tall task ahead of them still.
I also liked Chris Knoblauch. As much as I don't like, someone must be watching Donna Delay. As much as I don't love that they sat back as much as they did, that's not good. Like, that's the only part of, like, you say it's a tall task going forward. Like, yeah, that was a good game by the Oilers, and I like that they mainly kept Anaheim to the outside and all of those things. I just did feel like they sat back a little bit too much. Here's Knoblauch and
I was
Gregor.
just going to find this. What do you make of this?
So this is Gregor's tweet. Chris Knoblauch, quote, "I thought we sat back too much in the final 2 periods. It happens when you have a 3-goal lead." Gregor, great question by Gregor. "What do you say to them on the bench when that is happening?" Knoblauch, "You don't tell them what play was there when they come off because it might not be there again, but you just keep reminding them to make plays." Blue Bullet Brad had an interesting thread on this too that maybe I'll save for later or save for tomorrow. But he kind of had some points on it where it's like when guys are doing the timid thing, like having a coach who's more mild isn't the best like approach for it mentally. Like you almost need to bark at them and tell them like, hey, snap out of it and go make plays instead of just the way Knoblauch probably does where it's like a gentle like, hey, keep going, guys. Like that maybe doesn't jolt guys into like, oh, yeah, shit, we got to play better. But we'll save that conversation for another time, Liam. Man, there's so much to get to, and we spent obviously a lot of time doing nonsense at the start of the show. But
what was the nonsense?
What did you make of Freddie in for Lazar?
I was surprised. As you know, I've disengaged with Twitter on my phone. So I didn't know this until the game started, that this was occurring. I was surprised for a couple of reasons. And firstly, I should say, I do understand the decision and why you want Lazar in. I think, what's his name? Chris Knoblauch specifically said he wanted him in there for like penalty killing and stuff like that. Lazar was 1 for 1 on the face-off dot yesterday. The Oilers had one face-off. He won it, and they still allowed a goal. Either way, I obviously it comes with what happened at the end of the game in Game 4, where he didn't get out of the zone, end up resulting in that. But one thing I find interesting is with Frederic, they have this role for him where, so say Draisaitl goes out for a defensive zone draw. And if Draisaitl gets kicked out, rather than have McDavid out there to win a face-off for him, or like throw him capping in on Podkolzin, they put Frederic out there, and then he goes in and wins it, or is involved in it, whatever you want to say. So I was surprised because it seemed like they were using him a lot more in that role in Game 4, and I actually thought in Game 4 he played perfectly fine until that. Few hits, like couple shots. Like I know you obviously want more of that, but I think Doc came in and played perfectly good as well. And Lazar drew a penalty, won his face-off, however many minutes he ended up playing. He wasn't noticeable, but like he did fine. And I don't know, I'm just at the point with Frederic, like I just have like no expectations. And quite frankly, like I'm just over him being in the conversation because he's almost so irrelevant to the impact of the game, for better or for worse, that we talk about him so much in the chat right now. People are like, he sucks, like 7 more years, all this stuff. I was like, yeah, man, like we can't do this for 7 more years. But you know what I mean?
We'll talk about that in the summer.
Yeah, but like I agree. Where I wasn't going to shot at you for asking me the question.
No,
obviously, it's part of it, but like I just don't really give a shit. Like they scratched a 4th line player yesterday to bring in another 4th line player. So be it.
It's going to happen a bunch more times.
Yeah, and I bet when Freddie comes in, he'll probably be like perfectly fine. Like he has this entire series.
He'll be his usual. And again, I know this isn't quite what you're saying, but like I think he's just a 0.
He's just a guy.
And the problem last game was that he had a couple turnovers that make him a -1.
Yep,
and you sit for that.
Warrants a scratch.
Yep, totally. I just don't think to your point, I don't think this needs to be a massive conversation.
Yeah. So what did Menzies say here?
Knoblauch wants Trent Frederic to play better. Talked scratch decision on Wednesday morning. Quote, with Dot coming back, we feel that he's been playing really well with his speed, his physicality, also the importance of Lazar. Knoblauch says, we talked about those faceoffs on the penalty kill. Lazar was a part of that last night, and we needed him. Obviously, we didn't take many penalties last night. We felt it was important for him to play. So there you go.
That is funny because, again, he took one. The entire team took one. He won it.
Yeah.
So...
Bright Dental, bright moment of the game. I want to get to this really quick.
Okay.
It's brought to you by Bright Dental, a family dental office located in St. Albert. Open Monday to Friday from 8 to 8. Open till 8. That makes it easy for you to get an appointment around your schedule. They offer a full range of dental services, including same-day crowns, and they're a Blue Diamond Invisalign provider. Give Bright Dental a call, or for more information, go to brightdental.ca. As we get to our Bright Dental, bright moment of the game, there's one thing yesterday that happened, and it gave me the chills. It brought the playoff spirit back into me, and I honestly think it was this string of moments that might have brought the passion back into the team as well.
Okay.
Leon Draisaitl scores the goal to put them up 3-0. And the camera, I'm rewatching the goal right now, kind of cuts to him in the corner, and he celebrates it. Like, he lets out like a big, I think he says, come on, if you're reading his lips, and he's got a smile, and he goes to skate past that bench, and he gives the Ducks a fucking mouthful.
Do we have vid?
I don't know if they put video on the broadcast. They didn't. They cut to Lukas Dostal. In the arena, they put him front and center on the big screen as he skated in front of the Ducks bench. And he, like, almost, it felt like, and I'm exaggerating, but this is how it felt in the moment, it almost felt like he came to a complete stop at the Ducks bench to, like, let them hear it. And it brought me back to that moment against the Rangers, the night of that crazy, crazy McDavid goal, when he skated by the Rangers bench and said something to them because they were down, like, 4-1. And I think, like, Puljujärvi made it 4-2. And Draisaitl skated past the Rangers bench and said, like, it's fucking coming. And then they came back and won. And then I think about him flipping Jacob Trouba's stick out of his hands. When
Guy
he was
hates
on
the Rangers for some reason.
Yeah, or hates Trouba.
Yeah, maybe.
But I just watched that yesterday, and I kind of went like, oh, man, like, they got their swagger back a little bit here, and that is very good to see.
Yeah, it was. They did play with some good attitude yesterday, which should make you believe that they've still got a chance in this series to come back and do it. So, yeah, Draisaitl, there was a moment on the broadcast, too, if you saw after Doc took that penalty, Draisaitl kind of went over to him and was like, hey, like, don't do that shit. But, like, you're good. Like, let's keep going.
Okay, wait. Tell me that again.
So after Doc took that penalty, they were on the bench, and Doc was sat on the bench, and Draisaitl slid over to him. He tapped him on the leg. And you can kind of, like, read lips. Obviously, I'm not a lip reader. But it looked like he said, like, hey, like, don't do that. Like, don't take those kind of penalties. But, like, we got your back. Like, we'll get it back. It's fine. And then Draisaitl scored on the power play, like, a little bit after. So it worked out in the end. But I thought that was good of being, like, the leadership. And someone mentioned it there, too, of, like, you set the standard, right, for Draisaitl to be like, hey, he's playing well. He was obviously feeling it in the moment, but, like, you can still talk to these guys and give them a bit of authority of being like, that's dumb. Like, it's Doc's first game back, obviously. He's got the energy. He's ready to go. But Draisaitl didn't let the standard drop and then went out and scored a big goal on a power play, which they needed so bad.
Yeah, they did, man. And they missed on a few opportunities earlier in the game, too.
Johnny, always making it about the Rangers.
You're still watching? I thought as soon as we did the Saddam Hussein rookie card, Laz would have been like, well, this is a deeply unserious program, and would have just turned it off. But anyways, Leon barking at the bench is my bright moment of the game because it brought a smile to my face, Liam, because I was like, I think we might be back. And the crowd was rocking, and Bose, the DJ, had the sing-alongs going in the third period. Did he play B.O.B.? You're fucking right, he did. The Oilers are 2-0 when Bose plays a B.O.B. song.
What B.O.B. song last night?
Strange Clouds featuring Lil Wayne.
I never liked that one.
No,
What?
not my favorite.
That was like one of my, when I was back in the gym in the old days, that was one of my go-to songs.
Okay. Not my favorite, but I'll admit a lot of the other B.O.B. songs, maybe not arena worthy. That one, that'll get the arena jumping. And I'm pretty sure I'm like one of 6 people in the stands who's like, banger.
B.O.B., whatever happened to him?
Still dropping.
Same with Khalid. I said that the other day. You're like, no one asks for Khalid music.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Chad is in. Let's get to some comments while we wait for our boy Dave Pagnotta. I'm going to text right now.
Dave, where are you?
Come on.
Just in that Norris ballot, I hope.
Chad Clausen is in. 1 bleeping road win. That's it. Then we get it back here. And I said all along, you get this thing back. Excuse me. This crowd is not letting the Oilers lose in 7.
Nah, I agree. Again, no. Look, I'm not going to be a downer, but I will be because I just like to live in the real world for it sometimes. Going to Anaheim and winning is something the Oilers haven't done in these 2 games.
Correct.
They've looked honestly quite dreadful whilst they've been down there.
And to me, like I don't totally agree with what Maynard's saying, but there is a little part of me yesterday that goes, "Oh, they really started to get worked in the second period. Like they went into survival mode too quick." And there's a part of me yesterday that thought, okay, is this survival mode or is this the Ducks turning on the Jets? So that makes me nervous.
I know, and I was kind of trying to figure that out too. I think it was okay. The Ducks have a lot of experience on their side, especially on their bench. I think, and I don't mean this in the direct for both teams of like Edmonton and Anaheim when I compare them, but like I think the Oilers' experience in moments throughout these past couple of years took over in that second and third period of like. We know how to kind of like absorb the pressure. And I think if you've watched every game in the series, you'll know that like Anaheim isn't scoring goals like off the cycle and stuff like that. They're getting them on odd man breaks or, like shots from the point, just like getting through and hitting like the one that Jeffrey Veal the other day. It's like hits his own guy in front of that, drops right in front of him. That's a bit of a fortunate goal, but he was there and credit to him for that. I just felt that the Oilers weren't allowing that to happen as frequently last game. So I think that was almost like part of the defensive sit back, like really push it to start. But when it's coming back in your face, like it almost played into the Oilers' advantage a little bit because I don't think the Ducks play that kind of hockey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, too, can you take off the Bet365 thing, Aaron, just for me briefly? I fucking hate Beckett Sennecke.
Oh,
I cannot stand that kid.
To be fair, you didn't like him coming into this because of that Amazon broadcast.
Yeah, and that's really triggered things. But one thing, as much as I don't like him, that kid thinks his shit doesn't stink, and it drives me nuts. It absolutely stinks. It reeks. Just prounces around like no one's going to do anything to him, and it's just driving me nuts that the Oilers are actually doing nothing about it. Like yesterday, he fired that puck well after the whistle. I don't care if you can't hear the whistle or not. Like, you definitely did. And you still shot that puck. And Matthias Ekholm, as much as I gave him a couple of cross checks, like, no. You're giving that kid the business. Like, you've got to step up in that moment. Because he just fired it. Because Jacob Truber ain't standing around waiting for the refs to come and intervene. He's taking it into his own hands. And I need the Oilers to do that to Beckett Sennecke and push him out of the series a little bit. I know he's not had like a huge impact. He's had one goal. But I feel like he's playing well. I don't want to get that taken away. But that is driving me nuts about Beckett Sennecke right now.
Do you think a part of this, as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins says in the chat, we can't do anything, their power plays at 50%, Liam? Do you think, like, to Draisaitl going and tapping Colton Dach, is this like the Oilers are just saying, hey, stay out of it because we can't take penalties?
I mean, it's a good
Ekholm
point.
Was pissed, too. He was pissed.
But, like, they in those moments,
yeah.
I feel like sometimes in those circumstances, like, if you get the roughing penalty in that one, for example, like, you engage with Beckett Sennecke, there's also not a 0% chance they just like, hey, unsportsmanlike for Sennecke. And they just round it out and they send them both. I mean, last night we saw an embellishment penalty. It probably should have been about 10, to be honest. But I don't know. That kid is driving me nuts. Just the look on his face is irritating the shit out of me.
You know whose face doesn't irritate me? Dave Pagnotta on the Prairie Toyota Dealers guest line, looking to dominate off the ice as much as your team does on it. The Toyota Tacoma comes with a standard I-Force engine that boasts an impressive towing capacity of up to 6,400 pounds. In fact, it's the most powerful Tacoma ever. So whether you're hauling gear to the rink or heading to an away game, you can tackle it with ease. Experience power, capability, and convenience with the Toyota Tacoma. Visit shoptoyota.ca or visit your Prairie Toyota dealer during Red Tag Days on now through May. Dave Pagnotta, much like the Anaheim Ducks, shows up 5 minutes late, huh? Zing!
Oh, nice one. I was muted too. Nice. That was good. My bad, boys. My bad.
No, it's okay. We had so much to get to because it was an electric night down at Rogers Place. The Oilers extend the series, but Dave, even more importantly, feels like they kind of got their swagger back.
Build off that momentum, definitely. To come out of the gate flying the way that they did, was needed. 10 minutes in, and it's 3-0. Kudos to them for responding in the manner in which they did, because I don't think this could have been something that was dragged on throughout the course of the game. They need to they did. They needed to attack right out of the gate, and that's exactly what they did. They put Anaheim's young guys on their heels a little bit. Yeah, they got the veteran guys there too, but the bulk of this core are the younger guys that are gaining this experience, put their backs up against the wall a little bit, and it worked out. And I would anticipate them not taking their foot off the gas moving forward here. Anaheim won 3 straight. Well, 1 down, 2 to go.
What did you make of the way, like, obviously Edmonton got up 3-0, and when you get into that mode, your play can change, and it's hard to maintain that, obviously, for 60 minutes. But what did you make of the fact of, like, the final 2 periods, Edmonton just kind of sat there and just allowed Anaheim to come wave after wave at them?
Well, I mean, at that point, you didn't need to be on the attack, right? Like, you could still be on the offensive when the opportunities pop up, but you didn't have to necessarily be on an all-out blitz throughout the rest of the game, which, you contain your body a little bit while you're doing that as well. Let them come to you. They're the ones in the big hole. Let them do whatever they need to do to kind of come at you in this one. You make the change in net that usually brings a little bit of a reset, I guess. You kind of take a deep breath and go, okay, let's try to get this going here from the Ducks' perspective. But from Edmonton, they're going to have to come at you. So let them. And if you can create mistakes or they make mistakes, you take advantage of those. So, again, for them to do that over the course of a full 60, especially in the playoffs, you don't have to. It's not that you don't it's almost like not overexerting yourself, but still playing responsibly enough that you don't allow Anaheim to gain any life or any momentum. That's kind of what they did throughout that game, the rest of the game anyway.
So many positives. Ingram plays great. Evan Bouchard has his best game of the series, was probably the best player in that hockey game last night.
Did you change your Norris ballot since you took him off?
Yeah, email say I'd like to mix all that up.
I didn't take him. He's on my ballot. I can put 5 guys on there. He's one of the 5.
Oh, so he's 5, Dave. Unbelievable.
Connor McDavid, not to get us sidetracked, Connor McDavid played 24:09 yesterday. That is a high amongst all forwards. I watched him skate out of the tunnel to do his little warm-up lap, and not that you want to read too much into it, but just the way he jumped onto the ice and did his little hot lap, I was like, man, this guy's got to be good to go. He said after on the TNT broadcast that there was never a doubt really that he was going to play. But again, he's been in the lineup through these first 4 games and wasn't McDavid last night. Man, that's a reason to believe because he looked like 97.
He did, and clearly something's bothering him. But it was, he did enough to get through it in that game, and you saw that exactly what you said. You saw that energy right in warmups, right out of the gate when he came out. You knew that he was dialed in. This is similar to the night before when Sidney Crosby in the middle of that game, you see them pan over to him and he's just dead-eyed, focused, ready to go. You knew he was dialed in too. You get your big boys doing that, usually going to mean good things for your team. Sid's back's up against the wall. Connor's back is up against the wall. They respond, and that's what you needed from them. And thank you to Connor McDavid for shooting over 3. He got 4 shots in that game. I had the over on a shot prop, so it's a win.
Well, I should have bet Bouchard 3 assists rather than Bouchard 3 shots.
I know, that fucked me so bad last night.
That took a big one out of me.
Anyways, I can lose every bet I place if the Oilers win. I'm happy. You were in Buffalo last night for Game 5 of that series. So now Buffalo is up 3-2 heading out on the road. Anaheim's up 3-2 going back for home, or they're on home ice for Game 6. I was talking about this morning with Hutz. I think Buffalo probably isn't facing a ton of pressure in Game 6 because you can fall back on Game 7 in our building, and I think Buffalo's probably going to bed being like, "Hey, we've played good in Boston for those 2 games. We should be okay." I actually think there is some pressure on Anaheim. As much as I'm sure at the start of the series they would have been okay with this thing going 7, I think now there's some doubt in the Ducks' head that oh shit, if we don't take care of business in Game 6, we got to go back up to that madhouse.
Yeah, there's definitely more pressure among the two. There's a hell of a lot more pressure on the Ducks at this point. You win 3 straight against Edmonton when nobody pegged you to have real shot at this series. You don't want to give Connor and Leon and the rest of the crew, Bouchard, etc., any momentum here. And if you lose at home, 100% Oilers are going to be favored in that one, as they should be in Game 7. So the whole momentum shift Edmonton needs to almost do, now things will be different with the change and whatnot, final change. But Edmonton needs to do exactly what they did in game one. In game one. In game 5 as going into game 6. Right out of the gate, relentless attack, go at them, get them on their heels. Maybe you're not going to score 3 in the first 10. Even if you get 1, get their backs up against it. I think that's the mentality right now for the Oilers. And for Anaheim, you have to kind of slow the pace of play down, control the game, control the puck in the first 10 so you can try to dictate play as things kind of move along and then pounce when the opportunities come up. If they go down early or if they go down even midway through this game, by a couple goals, they're going to be gripping the sticks a little bit tighter because you don't want to give any added momentum to an Edmonton team that possesses the skill level that they do. In Buffalo, they played really well in that overtime. They were dominating the shit out of that. And then it was just a blunder, a mixed change mindset. They kind of mind screwed themselves a little bit. And then Pasta's there on the breakaway and voila. Like you're not gonna bet against him in those types of situations. So yes, Boston's got a lot of momentum going home. And Jeremy Swayman responded quite nicely in this game with how he performed. But Buffalo can kind of go into this with a little bit of ease. They play the same way for the most part they did in the last game. Wouldn't surprise me if it's done. And to your point, if Boston finds a way to tie this series, you're going back to Buffalo for a Game 7 in that atmosphere with the Buffalo Blade Gang. Good luck.
So last night there was a hit from Chris Kreider on Leon Draisaitl, and there was no penalty called. But I thought Elliot Friedman said something interesting on the panel. I'm curious what you think. It was like, I saw it especially in that game. There was a ton of diving last night. And he made it seem like it's been kind of a problem around the NHL this playoffs too. Is that something the league is going to start doing here? Is like just calling these embellishments? How do you adjust to this? Because I don't think the NHL officials should be shouldn't impact their decision on things. When you see Chris Kreider just absolutely nail Draisaitl into the balls. Like, if you think it's an embellishment penalty, just call them both. Or, like Tyler said before the show, is like, just call the embellishment penalty and don't call the other one. That's probably a way you can eliminate a few of these dives. What I would start doing. But last night I thought it was crazy from both sides.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a trend. A little bit. We saw a little bit of that last night in Buffalo. There's been a little bit of that in Montreal, Tampa. You see it kind of in different spurts throughout the game because you're trying to give your team an edge. And if the refs aren't calling it, well, screw it. Why don't I try to do that? Yeah. But there will be some messaging, if it hasn't started already, to every series to say to quit doing that shit. And either we're going to call them or we're going to call other penalties that we're letting slide. Look, to call an embellishment penalty in the playoffs that's rough, especially if that's a singular call that's being made. You're going to get a lot of shit for that one, no question. So instead of that, the other warning is, well, that cross-check that we let go, we're not going to let that shit go anymore. Or that, trip but not a trip, that holding the stick that you're not really holding. We're going to start calling these types of penalties, which are regular season penalties, but not necessarily in the playoffs. I think that messaging, if it hasn't started, will, especially when you get to Game 6s and 7s, and you don't want that shit happening in the second round moving forward either. You got to kind of nip this in the ass pretty quick.
Just one other one. I don't want to relive this too much. It's just I'm curious. So obviously there was the goal or not a goal, whatever you want to call it, on Sunday, and it sparked the conversation of technology. And I think everyone who's watching, listening, knows it was a goal. The process is what everyone obviously has an issue with. But does the NHL have anything in those what do they call them? The boardrooms or whatever it is, where they go to the video room. Do they have anything in there that like we don't see besides like camera angles, I guess? Do they have any extra technology?
So SMT, which does the puck tracking and the player tracking for the NHL, they have the technology, and they've been trying out the technology with respect to the goal line and offsides. Technically, it's there. They've tested this out. They have it. They haven't perfected it. At least that's the argument from the NHL, is they haven't perfected that yet. Yes, you've got it in tennis. Yes, you've got the other thing, the strike zone calls in baseball now that's implemented. But there are a lot of obstacles in the way in the NHL, and they don't want to just minimize the possibility of an oops. They want to nullify it. So that's why it's taken them so long with offside calls, with goal calls on the goal line. They've been trying this out for years, but the different obstacles can kind of screw up the overall decision, even through technology. And while, I saw that AI-driven example that somebody made on social and whatnot, technically, yes. I mean, it seems obvious, but the league doesn't want a technicality. They want it definitive. So I give them credit in that respect, but hurry the hell up because we need this.
Yeah.
Well, and also just like on that point, my argument to that would be if the league's like we don't want it on a technicality, whatever, like, but you're okay with the officials guessing, and that's what kind of made me mad about the process is that there's no way that ref saw that puck go in and then just decided like, yeah, it was a goal. Yeah,
I know that's the biggest takeaway out of all of these different anecdotes tied to this for me is that nobody was there to see it. Nobody's got go-go gadget eyes that are going around the net to try to see that shit. Like, no, it's impossible. But they called it a goal on the ice. If they called it no goal, there would have needed to be conclusive evidence to overturn it, just like vice versa. And there wasn't, so they called it whatever was called on the ice.
A couple more spots to hit on. And this one's, I guess, outside of Edmonton, but Vasily Podkolzin yesterday. Great game by him. He's a reclamation project that couldn't find a fit with Rick Tocchet. Well, let's look at another Russian who can't find a fit with Rick Tocchet. Matvei Michkov, sitting a game for the Flyers, not playing. He was benched for a game, like all this stuff. Do you think there's a chance is the relationship going to get so bad that they move on from him this summer, or is this just a one-off?
No, I don't think so. I would be shocked. They really love this kid. And there's a lot of internet bullshit that was put out in the last week. There's some troll site and all that stuff that's throwing out all kinds of shit. I had to chime in on it because I kept getting asked 24/7 about it. It's not near, like, none of that stuff kind of happened. If anything, there was he didn't want to take part in warm up or some shit like that, but nothing that's strained the relationship. They value this kid. They've been trying to go with him. They feel that he's going to be a star for this team moving forward. Some guys just take more time to adjust than others. And I don't think any of what's actually happening there has strained the relationship by any stretch. Like I said, they view him heavily. He's a big part of their future. And I would be pretty surprised if Danny Briere and company start exploring, or not exploring, and even entertaining calls with respect to Michkov. They like this kid. They want him.
So let's cancel that Ike Howard for Matvei Michkov segment that we were going to do in the next hour.
Put it in the back pocket.
Okay, we'll say that. Last one. Yeah. How is John Chayka going to run the Leafs if he owns all those Wendy's? How will he have enough time?
Delegate responsibilities elsewhere. I guess it sounds like it's getting towards that. Sundin Chayka combo. I expect more changes to happen within that front office. Regardless of who comes in, if it ends up being Chayka, I would expect Shane Doan to be gone. I think a few others. They're going to make a few other changes to front office, both on the hockey ops side and the community/business side. Said this in the last week or so. Ty Domi's been tied to both. He's got a great relationship with Matt Sundin. He's got a very good relationship with John Chayka. There could be something there, but off the hockey ops side of things. If they do go in that direction, we know Brandon Pridham has put his hat in the ring for some GM positions out there, Nashville among others. Derek Metcalf, there's ties to. Will he go to Pittsburgh at some point and join Dubas and company? So I expect there to be more changes regardless of who comes in as GM. But, we started to hear last week that Chayka was going up the totem pole there, and he seems to be at the top of the list right now. Scott White has been part of this. I think they're the two kind of at the finish line here. Mike Futa has there was conflicting reports as well, and I don't know if he denied it publicly or whatnot, but there was a little bit of hesitancy with respect to his hat in the ring on this one. I can tell you he definitely interviewed for the job. He was and Alberga reported this morning that he was one of the finalists. That's true. He's one of the 3 finalists for the job, but he was told this week, I don't know exactly when, that they were going in a different direction at the GM position. So it looks like it's down to, or it's White and Chaika, but it seems like Chaika-Sundin combo. So we'll see if they get to the finish line, or when they get to the finish line on this. It's going to be pretty quick.
Is Sundin Chaika not just Shanahan Dubas 2.0? Or am I being way too surface level?
No, that's what everyone's kind of looking at this as. And I get it, because it basically looks like it optically. Now, when Sundin first entered the equation, and Sundin is a Keith Pelly search. He wasn't part of the agency that they hired for the agency was responsible for the GM search. Kelly went straight to Sundin. They had dinner 2 Sundays ago in Toronto, and started to kind of see where the pathway was to getting something done. I think this is a combination of, him chiming in from the hockey ops side, but also community based, and I'm sure it'll be part of some of the business tactics. Shanny wasn't the president of hockey ops; he was the president of the Leafs. So he was tangled in a lot more different things, and on the big decisions, at least when Dubas was around, hockey decisions, he was involved in. That final year when Shanny's final year when Treliving was here, it was all Tree. And then it was obviously all Tree this season because they didn't have anybody there. But it looks like they're going in that direction. And Keith Pelly talked about this during his press conference a few weeks ago that, it is data-centric, and that's where we're focused on. We also have to make sure we have the right hockey people involved. And clearly they value what Sundin has to bring, and it's going to be up to Mats to see if he wants to be here full-time.
Last one from me. Why did Hockey Canada not give that kid exceptional status?
Yeah.
The O'Rourke kid. Do you know?
It's a sticky subject. I think it has to do with the fact that he's not Canadian, first and foremost, which is disappointing overall. And I think there's going to be a little bit of pushback there. So we'll see. I don't think that is over. We'll see, because talking to like OHL GMs and people around the league, they consensus is they take him in a heartbeat and they want him in the league. Hockey Canada, obviously, with some, and I think we touched on this when the story really came out a few weeks ago, that Hockey Canada was going to have a bit of it's funny phrasing, a bit of a big say in how this was going to go. So I anticipate there being a little bit of pushback from his camp on this to make it happen. Maybe that involves him getting Canadian citizenship.
Davin is in. You said they had dinner 2 Sundays ago. Davin says 2 Sundays ago in Toronto sounds like a Drake song, and it kind of does. Anyways, new GM hired before we get Iceman, but that's irrelevant to this whole conversation. Dave, appreciate you popping on as always. Thank you.
Okay. You got it, guys.
Bye.
See ya. Classic Dave Pagnotta. He's also brought to you by our friends at Oodle Noodle. Take advantage of the value menu deal. Add 2 green onion cakes, 5 spring rolls, or 6 wontons to your order for just $2. Any signature premium box, oodlenoodle.ca. We're going back to back. Speaking of Drake songs, Landon Ferraro's appearance. Yeah, fucking right. I can spit that. Landon Ferraro's brought to you by Truck Month. That means it's your opportunity to get into a 2026 GMC Sierra 1500 Pro Graphite Crew Cab and get a $6,000 cash purchase credit. You're getting a 2-inch factory lift with off-road suspension, a powerful 5.3-liter V8 engine, and a commanding presence that demands attention. Hurry in to go see the Sierra 1500 Pro Graphite Crew Cab in person and take advantage of Truck Month before it ends. Landon Ferraro, former NHLer, pre- and post-games on Sports 1440, joins us decked out in his golf attire. Are you pre-round or post-round?
Played 9, and honestly, it's been a great morning. I don't really know what's going on else in the world, and I'm sure not good things, but in my little bubble this morning, it was great.
So I'm assuming you shot well. My problem with playing 9 is that if I play well on the 9, I'm like, God damn it, why am I not playing 18?
Yeah, well, I had a kid under the weather the last 2 days, so I had him at home instead of daycare, so I missed 2 rounds. So the fact I got there for 9 today, I was only 1 over, feeling real good about myself. It was almost better I got to leave, so I didn't just blow up the back. I just get to leave there like I would have had my best round ever.
Yeah, that's fair.
Of course I would have.
Yeah, for sure.
The sun is shining in Edmonton. The Oilers are back in this series. It's 3-2. I'm golfing for the first time tomorrow. It's all sunshine and rainbows in Edmonton, but it all starts with that win last night. What impressed you the most, and maybe what about their game gives you the most confidence that they can win 2 more?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, one, their big guys took over the game, right? Like in the pregame show with Walks yesterday, like they had brought up talking about how when Draisaitl was out, like that was when the team really came together and made a really good push and all of these things, and that's fair, and it's true, but that's the regular season. And when your big guy goes out in the regular season, you can rally around that because even though it's not said, it just is different, right? Like, yeah, I can be the difference maker 3 out of 6 games in the regular season out of one stretch as a third, fourth line guy. But to have to do that continually in the postseason, it's not going to be there every time. You need your big guys to be there. And if McDavid wasn't in the lineup, as the talk was going into the game, like that's a way bigger issue. And he gets in there and he's able to make plays. They get moving. Draisaitl has his night. Bouchard makes 3 of the best passes I've seen in a long time. Like they were going, but to continue on here, I think the biggest difference between the games is, like they've scored the first goals, they've gotten their leads, they haven't been able to handle the first pushback, right? Like when Anaheim finally decides, like, okay, we're going to be in this game, they get the goal, then it kind of moves quick from Edmonton in the past games. It almost felt like they were the inexperienced one of the series, and it didn't feel like that last night.
Mm-hmm. Well, the guy who really kicked off the party was Vasily Podkolzin. I think he's been really good for them every single game so far.
Consistent.
What have you made of it, of his series, obviously, but also too, we were discussing earlier on the show, like, what is the ceiling for this guy? He's only 24 years old.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting one because of how fast his game has taken off from where it was. Not too long ago was, I'm not going to sit here and say I was listening to you guys every day last year, but I would imagine at different points you're like, there has to be another option, right? Like, as good as, okay, Draisaitl likes him and all of it, like, there's got to be someone better to play on one of the best guys in the world's line. Yet he kept getting better, and you see his hands starting to come. Like, as much as I was just gushing over Bouchard's passes, and that was an elite pass,
yeah,
like every guy in the NHL is going to be able to handle that puck. But it's the next part that really, like, it shows the skill and the work that he's put in. For him off of first touch to have that in the correct shooting position, so he's wasted 0 time. I know it got deflected a little bit, but if he doesn't get that into perfect spot off of first touch, that puck doesn't get to the net. It gets deflected into the corner, right? So, like, how quick he got it off, like, you can see where his game has just grown so much. In saying how far it can go, I don't know if he's ever going to be someone that's, crazy above what his numbers are this year. Like, I don't think he's a 30-goal scorer. Like, I think he's going to be that, call it 17 to 22 range. Be right in there, and like you'd be really happy with that. But you see what he brings come playoff time, right? Like, you can't replicate that. And this isn't to throw a side shot at Roslovic here, but you saw what he did in the regular season, and we know what the conversation is about his postseasons. You can have guys that can help with some more scoring during the year, but you can't have someone jump into the lineup and do what Podkolzin does. The physicality, the raw emotion he brings into the game, like, you can tell every night how bad he wants it, right? And that's contagious come playoff time.
And I think that was important last night too, when like I said on our show, like the first 5 minutes was going to be really important because I think you had a crowd that was going to be rightfully nervous, and quite honestly, a crowd that was probably going to be pretty fragile going into that game. It's why I said I think we need a fight in the first 5 minutes, but a goal's even better. But Podkolzin coming out, scoring, then he hits a goalpost in his next shift, and like that gave the crowd some life, and I think that even allowed the Oilers to really push that momentum. Like I felt like they rode the crowd those first 7-8 minutes, and then again, what do you make of the final 40 minutes? Because they go up 3-0, and then the final 40 is kind of all Anaheim from a shot and a scoring chance perspective. Is that okay, reason to be nervous? Like, shit, Anaheim kind of played better for 40 minutes? Or is that like, Edmonton was up 3-0, that's score effects, that's sitting on your lead?
No, I mean, for me, it probably sits somewhere in the middle of that, right? I think it's something that you need to, like, you want to see them be better defensively once they have that lead. Like, they've scored first in every game. They've had leads and they've punted them away. Even last night, the turnovers kind of crept back in a bit. Like just some areas where you can just be on the defensive side and just make sure, and yet they kind of like they just let their feet carry them a little bit forward. And now instead of it being a play that would get kind of snuffed out right away, it turns into a hard back check, and they get there, and it took it away. But it just, again, I feel like it's kind of my slogan for the year of, like, they just make it harder on themselves than it needs to. Even in a game where they do a lot great last night, and the main thing is they come out with the win, and yet they can make it easier on themselves. You know that Anaheim's going to have a push. You know that the first 5-10 minutes are going to mean everything in Game 6. Like Anaheim knows that, okay, or not knows, but they've now seen what a team with their back against the wall in the playoffs looks like, right? You can't replicate that. That's one of those learning things that all first-year playoff teams need to go through. But, so they learn that a little bit, but now they're going to see a team that still has their back up against the wall, but now has a little momentum. What does that look like? So that first 10 minutes, as obvious as it is really going to mean a ton in this game.
I wanted to ask you as well about Jake Walman. Obviously, the regular season wasn't good for Jake Walman. He was very up and down, to say it nicely, to be honest. But I feel like this series, he's actually been pretty decent for the Oilers. What have you made of him over these 5 games?
Yeah, like he's had parts, I feel, that have been really good. I don't think he's really had, like tough goes like we saw in the regular season. Like it hasn't gotten to that. But, like you look at his minutes last night and, like they're not nearly as high as you would have thought them to be in a situation like that. But, I mean, like I kind of get it.
Yeah.
He's always that guy that you're always wondering when he's going to make that one extra pinch, right? Like, and it's almost where you're sitting there and you're, as the coach, you're like, he's on a great run. Yeah, let's keep rolling him because he's a good player. He is. And then as soon as it happens, you're sitting there and honestly, it's kind of like the Cooper in Tampa Bay talking about Sabrin the other night. Or it was after like game 2, I think it might have been.
Yeah, when he took that dumb
when
penalty.
He's like, yeah, and he's like, he was perfect for 58 minutes. It was 58 minutes, it's just waiting for that one last shift. You don't know where that one extra is. And I think that plays a bit into his ice time last night and the other guys playing better. For him, it's just kind of shift by shift. He needs to continue stacking good plays underneath him. If anything, not taking the easy way out on the defensive side, but like if there is a true 50-50 puck, get your steps back to the middle and gain your ice. Don't dive in on it every time. If it's 60-40 with his mobility, yeah, you have free run, go for it, right? But when it gets to that 50-50-ish, just grab your ice, live another day, and let's move on from there.
One thing I also liked about yesterday with Knoblauch, I know he's getting a bit of criticism for maybe the team sitting back too much, although, again, he even said after, like, there's only so much I can do if guys are going out there and playing to protect the lead. But I like how he spread out the minutes. Like, I was looking at the 5-on-5 time on ice. Szymanski was 8:50, and then you can go all the way up to Hyman, who was 10:58. So that right there is basically a 2-minute gap, and in that gap, it goes Hyman, Nuge, Savoy, Lazar, Podkolzin, Doc, Dickinson, Szymanski. Like, that's 7 of the forwards, and Roslovic was only 11:04 too. So we can go with basically 9 of the forwards who were all within like a 2-minute and 20-second window. I like that Knoblauch seemed to roll the lines a little bit, and he got everyone involved. Like, I was a touch nervous that last night would turn into oh shit, Knoblauch is coaching for his job. Connor and Leon are playing 30 minutes tonight. I'm really happy that he kind of kept a big picture view and said, no, to come back in the series, we still need everyone else going.
And see, I think that's and we've talked about this, whether it was last week or the week before, but like, to me, the thing that was different with this team is that everyone actually had a role. Like, before, I felt like in past years, like, I really had to look at the bottom 6 and, 2 of them, you're like, okay, yeah, they're the PK. But past that, like, you're really trying to find, like, okay, I understand that this is technically their role, but they don't really get the opportunity to do it, right? Like, this was the year that everything kind of fits better in its spots. It doesn't help that you have a McDavid that clearly isn't feeling great. Like, some other parts have dropped, but I still think that the bottom half of this forward group is better, and it gives Knoblauch a better reason to play the 4 lines. And seeing that his guy, well, as much as we're saying, like, it's good Knoblauch's doing it, like, does he really have a choice, though? Like, where is McDavid at? Like, the fact that he got to, 24 last night, he's on that power play at the end. Like, it's a tough job coaching a McDavid and a player like that. You can only tell them so much before his leg just kind of magically appears to go over the boards again and he's back on the ice, right? Like, it's a tough situation. You're trying to pull minutes and the other guys are doing well, but he still wants it.
I'll give you a really interesting number on McDavid, because I think time on ice is one part of the equation, but total number of shifts is a really interesting part of the equation. So you look, Szymanski, 16 shifts, Doc had 16, Lazar and Dickinson had 19, Kapanen had 20, but then McDavid's next. So that's the 6th fewest actual number of shifts at 22 shifts. So in 24 minutes, he only played 22 shifts. His average shift length was over a minute. So I think there's something to maybe even read into that, where, like, I think Knoblauch was trying to pull it back a little bit, but Connor was going out there. They got caught real bad at one point in the third period. I think they took like a 2-minute shift. They got caught a few times, but it's good to know McDavid can play 24 minutes and handle it, obviously. But I think it's interesting to read that shift number and see Knoblauch probably was trying to dial it back a little.
Trying to, and that's where, I mean, like, you can only do so much. Like, if he's not going to come back off, it is what it is, and there's power play in there as well, right? And those are where he's going to grab some minutes. But, to me, like, that's where a conversation does need to be had of, like, Connor, some really, really long shifts. And, it's not like when you're 100% healthy, where when you're on the ice, it seems like his feet are moving all the time. It's not that right now, right? Like, he's having to pick his spots a bit more. Like, if they can come to an understanding of, like, okay, I'm trying to reel you in a little bit, but you're taking the long shifts. You're at 22 last game. If I get you to 25, but you get down to 45 or 50-second shifts, like, can we meet in the middle somewhere in there? Right? Because it's only going to help you. Like, McDavid, let's be honest, like, he's having to pick his spots more than he ever does. Right? Like, even when he blew around, what was it, 2 games ago, and he just didn't get around the far pad? Like, him healthy, he gets there. He can cut harder, and he beats that leg every time. To me, like, he doesn't have the strength to get across or the confidence in the injury to get across. So with shorter shifts, maybe he can let his feet go a little bit more. He can catch someone off guard, but at that long, like, it's hard for anyone.
Last one for me. What do you expect tomorrow? I think this is going to be, obviously, it's the biggest game of the series so far. Obvious statement of the year.
I'll dub it a must-win for both teams. How about that?
That's a good one. Could be. What do you think?
Should I finish the trifecta?
Sure, why not?
The first 10 minutes are going to be really important.
Yeah.
So we've all hit one here.
Yeah, we're good.
But no,
cycle.
seriously, I absolutely, it's amazing doing this and how many times that, like, the next logical thing to say is the cliche.
Yeah.
And you're trying to, like, I'm trying to figure out, how do I just avoid that? I hate it. But like I was saying earlier, like, I do really think that this game is won and lost in the first 10. And games, the normal saying is, you can't win you can't win the game in the first, but you can lose it. To me, this game really is won or lost early. If Edmonton comes out and keeps it tied or up through the first 10, and that to me means that, they've obviously done well, but they're handling Anaheim's first push as well. They're golden at that point. But if you give Anaheim, you guys were talking about the excitement of being back home and knowing that they can close it out there, like all of that, they're going to have a big push. If you let them take over in that time, it's going to be really hard to push back on that team. I think they're just young enough and fast enough that I don't know if the moment will get too big because they don't know that it's too big in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's totally fair, too. All right, Landon, as always, appreciate your time. When we chat with you next week, it's either an electric Game 7 win for the Oilers or we're wrapping this season up. So, I don't know.
So maybe start learning some of the names on free agency, just in case.
Yeah, 1 hour on Puckpedia is your homework
if
the Oilers get eliminated.
Now I really don't know what I want. Do I want to watch more good hockey or do I want to talk free agency? Let's see where that falls.
Yeah.
All right. See you, Landon.
See ya.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
There you go. Landon Ferraro for our friends at GMC and Truck Month. Liam, we are wrapping up the show with an all-new edition of the hit segment, Liam's Board.
Okay.
It's brought to you by our friends at the River Cree Resort and Casino, your home for great performance. And it's also your home of a fantastic happy hour, a $6.25 drink special that includes all beers, select premium well highballs, and select wine. And it's all served at Tap 25 Center Bar, Onyx, or on the casino floor, available Sunday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Must be 18 or older. Nothing beats a night at the River Cree as Liam prepares his very high-end board. If we didn't have to pay our guests like Landon Ferraro so much, we could probably afford to get you a better board, but
I don't need a better one.
Yeah.
All right, let me make sure my order's good.
Okay. There's been a few of them in the chat where people who are watching from the start of the show get to the Saddam Hussein rookie card part. Holy shit. I had to hold back a laugh when Landon was on because I
saw
read
that
the Saddam
one
Hussein
too.
comment.
That was off the cuff. All right, where's my stapler? Oh, fuck's sakes, I put these the wrong way around. 1 second. You ready?
Yeah, man. I'm good to go. I'm waiting for you.
Okay. I need more space. We need a table. Custom table.
Ooh, custom table. Who do you think you are? The sauce with Ryder and Lisa? Zing. I've been zinging everybody today.
All right.
All right.
Let's get moving here. Enough nonsense. Ryan Whitney trying to chug a beer. Number 1 on the board.
Yeah, it's got to be on there. Sorry, Whit Dog also hasn't texted me back the last 3 times I've asked for him to come on the show, so maybe we need to apply some social media peer pressure to him.
Clearly he's busy.
Chugging beers.
So,
honestly, good on him for playing into the bit.
100%. I will say this, and we discussed this pre-show. I think if you're chugging these and it's just clearly hard to chug, at what point do you just think, I'm just going to dump the rest of this on my head?
Yeah, and like in the moment with 18,000 crazy Buffalo fans watching you, that's an objectively better look than this.
I know your boss is Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, that too.
Like, I just think you're just giving people too much ammunition. at this point. I just think a good dumping is worth it.
Like, what's worse, not being able to chug or wearing a lot of beer on your shirt? Like, I know that I would rather be the guy that spilled than the guy that couldn't chug.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So Ryan Whitney's number 1 on the board. This is quite a variety one. Some of them are not funny. Just want to make sure that gets out there. And they're not. This is a very serious board.
Yeah, sometimes it's.
Canada lost today at the World U18 Championships, 4-2 to Sweden. And now, if you've been following along, Canada has not been winning a lot of shit recently in hockey. The world has caught up to us. Yeah. And this was a pretty strong roster, too. Like, Keaton Verhoff was there. Carson Carrolls, I believe, was there. Like, they had a pretty strong team. And Sweden was missing Stenberg. I don't think Viggo Bork played. I think they're both going to the World Championships instead. They'll both be top 10 picks in the draft, likely.
No, so they didn't play because they were still playing with their club teams.
Oh, but they're still going to the Worlds.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
But they were playing with their club teams, and someone was explaining this drama to me where, like, Sweden was like, leave your club team and come to the training camp for this.
Oh, they're like suspended a little bit, right?
Yeah, and they were like, no, we're going to stay with our club team, then we'll come to the tournament. And Sweden was like, no, you're not coming at all.
Yeah, so Sweden beat Canada 4-2. So the final 4 in this tournament, ragtag group to say the least.
Yeah, who are they?
Sweden, Czechia, Norway, who didn't win a game until the quarterfinals, and Latvia, who just beat the US. So really crazy things going on. I'm curious to see what Hockey Canada does here. If they keep trying to push their way into a certain direction, we'll find out soon enough. Number 3 on the board. This one stings the most. You got there, Smile Cookie?
Did you just pull out a Smile Cookie?
Yeah, found
boy.
it. It was behind the sports closet sign.
Hey, you've had a good show. You've earned that.
The V's season came to an end yesterday.
No.
Yeah, they got swept in the Western Conference Finals against Everett, who, like, honestly, legit team. They're really, really good. But what a year for the V's. Historic season for them. Fred Harvidson, our president, GM, and head coach, won the Executive of the Year yesterday. Probably in line to get a head coach of the year, I would assume, too. But really great season from the V's. Obviously, from doing the expansion draft. The WHL draft is next Thursday, so we've come full circle here. But yeah, what a year for the V's. To make it to where they did is quite incredible. I think it shows the level of where the organization is at, to be honest. Like, not just a BCHL team anymore.
And we need to clap it up, give you credit, Liam.
I didn't do that much yet.
All Liam.
It's no.
You get some. You get a small piece.
I'd say
I did a little bit. I helped.
Tie it up.
40% players on the ice, 60% you.
Do not send that clip to the V's. It was maybe 0.5% me being around.
That's a part of the pie.
This next one, that's probably him too. All right. This next one.
Bin Laden.
I couldn't get his rookie card.
Who's next on the board?
So
Better not be something serious because I just said Bin Laden.
You know I like television.
Oh yeah.
And I don't want any spoilers in the chat.
Okay.
Someone asked, "What does V's mean?" It's peaches, like
what?
peach. It's like it's because Penticton is like the home of peaches and stuff like that.
Sure.
And the V is like victorious, and it's something to do with like growing peaches and stuff like that. I can't quite remember. Aaron, if you Google it, it'll say. I love television. Obviously, I watch The Rookie, but I always try and mix in like a good show and a bad show. So I've not really mixed in a good show as of late. But recently, my fiance and I started watching The Handmaid's Tale. You ever seen that one?
No.
I didn't think so.
I watched the first season.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. I stopped, but I couldn't keep up. It was good.
Yeah, so now I'm a little bit through season 2. And I got told today it gets really bad. So that's annoying. I feel like I don't want to find out. But I also did this with The Good Wife, where when Will Gardner famously died, I just stopped watching. So I feel like that's what's going to happen with me on The Handmaid's Tale. But hopefully it's still good for a little bit. And the final one, this was a bit of a debate yesterday when we were doing the Is It Cake segment. Went kind of under the radar, but a few people mentioned it in the chat. So obviously my birthday was last Friday. And for my birthdays, I have a bit of a dairy allergy, but I still love to get an ice cream cake.
Sure.
So I got an ice cream cake for my birthday yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Last Friday. Is this a cake?
Yeah, it's cake.
Ice cream is a cake. Ice cream cake is a cake.
It's literally called ice cream cake.
Yeah.
It's the most self-explanatory dessert I've ever fucking seen in my life.
And it's my
Right.
favorite kind of cake.
Me too.
It
When I
is
have some when I go home.
cake that's made of ice cream.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And people went buying into. People were suggesting yesterday that it's not cake, and I just wanted to set the record straight and let everyone know it clearly is cake. And I'm glad we're all in agreement here. And if you think it's not cake in the chat, quite frankly,
You're an idiot. And I hate you.
figure it out.
Oh, sure.
No, I'm with Ty on this
Yeah.
one. Like, I don't
You're an
understand
idiot,
how.
aren't you?
Who are you hanging out with?
Hold
I
it
don't
up,
know.
Liam. Hold
I
up
don't
that
know.
board loud and proud for me.
Got it.
Yep.
There you go. Yeah, people talking about the good wife. Sorry for the spoilers, but it's just gonna happen sometimes.
I'm almost done DTF St. Louis, Liam.
What do you think?
It's pretty good.
It's
dude.
really weird.
It's weird. It makes me a little uncomfortable, but it's good.
Yeah, it does make you feel very uncomfortable, doesn't it? Especially,
Hopper from Stranger Things makes me
yeah.
feel
And I had
uncomfortable.
just finished watching Stranger Things, so to then go to DTF St. Louis was quite the spin. I did not expect that from him, but he's good. What are you figuring out over there? Is it cake or what?
I just threw out I always tweet Liam's board out so people can, maybe see it
nice.
and be incentivized or want to tune into the show.
That should bring in more viewers.
Yeah.
Did anybody tweet in? Oh, one thing we could kind of throw there if we wanted to. The Canmore Eagles won the AJHL.
Yeah, shout out to Cohen Doust.
Yeah, a couple of he's a good St. Albert lad.
Good St. Albert boy.
Shout out Hudson Landmark, good Sherwood Park boy.
Mm-hmm.
But because they won, they get to go to the national championships, the Centennial Cup.
We're going to Halifax.
PEI.
Son of a bitch. Close enough.
But they are looking for donations.
Oh, they are.
If anyone wants to help them out, I think they need $40,000
The
to
Canmore
go.
Eagles do.
The Canmore Eagles do. They're up to like 15 or something like that
Okay.
right now. So if you got a couple of bucks, you want to help them out, it's all over their socials. You can go.
Who are their notable alumni?
Braden Point.
Hey, Braden Point, get off your fucking wallet there, Chief.
I don't know who else they would really have. Braden Point's a big one. There. Alex Young, you remember him?
Nope.
No.
Well, he played for Canmore when
Oh, he
we
was
were kind
really
of
good,
in our AJHL heyday. He was drafted by San Jose, but yeah, Braden Point played a few
Did
games
Noah
for
Phil
them.
play for them?
He did play a few games for them. That's right. To be fair to Noah Phil, probably not earned enough money yet.
Yep, probably not.
Not Ted.
Classic Noah Phil.
Here we go. Let's pull it up
We
really
ain't
quick.
pocket checking Noah Philp, though.
Liam,
Yeah.
I also found out the V's. A simple V for the varieties of peaches.
There
What?
you go. Yeah, and like the V's have a say, and I can't remember what
So
it is. It's
the
probably
team
not.
name is the V's is short for varieties. They're the Penticton varieties.
Yep.
Based on the
For the
Vedette,
varieties of
Valiant,
peaches.
and
There it
Veteran
is.
Peach. That's a lot
Yeah.
of V in the Okanagan Valley.
And that's why they're called the V's.
That makes sense.
Such a cool name. Because everyone just thinks it's like an arrogant name for like, oh, we win all the time. We're going to call ourselves the V's.
Do you guys put V's up or something like that? Do you do any of that in the crowd?
No, I've never done that one before. But
Oh,
I
you
might
have?
start doing that. But they weren't always called the Penticton V's. That's why people kind of lead. They were the Penticton Panthers, I believe. No, we don't. Hey.
No?
No, we,
That's not like a Go V's.
no one's doing that.
They might start. They might
God.
start.
Yeah, we can start it.
Noah
Okay.
Philp and Braden Point, the notable alumni for
Braden
Cameroon.
Point, fourth all-time in team scoring.
Really?
Yep.
That cannot be true. Did he play that long?
He only played 60-some games.
Is that? No, he didn't. He played 4.
What?
Braden Point?
How many games did he play as the Canmore Eagle?
4.
Then why is he so high up on their all-time scoring leader?
I don't know. You're getting punked.
Oh, yeah.
Is Aston Kutcher going to pop out of that bathroom?
That's weird. I feel like Elite Prospects probably has to fix this. I think they're counting his C. I don't know, man. Anyways, that's a wrap on today's show. The Oilers force Game 6. We're getting another game day edition tomorrow, boys. Giddy up.
Will Jay finally be on our show?
I have no
Will
idea.
he be tanned is the question.
Yeah.
This has gone too
Oh,
far.
I know.
In my opinion, he's my boss, but
Yeah.
a Downton
I'm
pays
just
his debts.
saying, if I had lost, I would have heard about it.
Uh-huh. Ty, you would have paid up very quickly.
Oh,
you
yeah.
do very quickly.
All right, that's a wrap on today's edition of the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe if you're new, like if you've been here before, and we'll see you all back right here tomorrow, noon Mountain, for game day edition of the program. Game 6 on deck. Oil up. What's up, Nation citizens? If you enjoyed today's episode of Oilers Nation Every Day, make sure you hit the subscribe button here on our YouTube to not miss any of our content. We got you covered from interviews, insight, analysis, everything you need to stay up to date on everything around the team. Hit that subscribe button so